Have you ever felt like no one really gets you? The real you. Well, in this explainer, brought to you by the You Need Faith in Jesus team, we're going to dive deep into one of the most personal chapters in the entire Bible, Psalm 139. This isn't just a poem. It's a journey into the heart of a God who knows you completely. And believe me, there's an incredible amount of comfort in that truth. It all kicks off with this incredibly powerful line from King David. "O Lord, thou hast searched me and known me." Now, this isn't some casual glance. The word searched here implies a deep, thorough investigation, kind of like a miner digging for gold. David's basically saying, God, you've examined every single part of my being. Just let that idea sink in for a moment as we get started. All right, let's jump into our first section, God's infinite knowledge. We're about to find out just how deep and how personal this searching really goes. We're talking every thought, every word, and every single one of your ways. I mean, just look at this incredible detail. Down, sitting, and uprising. That's a classic Hebrew way of saying absolutely everything, from the most mundane moments to the most significant ones. But here's the really mind-blowing part. He understands our thoughts afar off. That means he knows what you're thinking before you've even finished the thought yourself. Wow. Now, this word here, compassist, it is fascinating. It doesn't just mean he surrounds us. The original language has this idea of sifting, like a farmer shaking a sieve to separate the good wheat from the worthless chaff. It means God is meticulously analyzing our lives, not to find fault or to condemn, but to know us perfectly. And it gets even deeper. His knowledge moves from our actions and thoughts to our very words. He knows them altogether. Not just what we say, but the intent behind it, the impact it'll have, before a word even leaves our lips. His knowledge isn't just reactive, it's way ahead of us. Faced with all this, David feels completely surrounded. The word is beset. But this isn't the feeling of being trapped or cornered. No, it's the security of being enclosed by a loving father. His hand on you is a sign of blessing, of protection, of guidance. And David's response, just pure awe. He basically admits, this is too wonderful for me. My mind can't even begin to grasp it. Okay, so let's shift gears a bit. David moves from what God knows to where God is. If his knowledge is totally inescapable, then what about his presence? Well, the answer is pretty clear. There is absolutely nowhere you can go from his spirit. David asks this rhetorical question, and then he explores the most extreme opposites you can imagine. Heaven? Well, of course God is there. But then he says, even if I make my bed in hell, and the Hebrew word is Sheol, which means the grave, the realm of the dead, God is there too. His authority stretches everywhere. The point here is just so powerful. No place, not one, is outside of God's reach. Heaven is his home, for sure, but even the realm of the dead is completely under his sovereign rule. You simply cannot find a spot, high or low, where you are beyond his presence. The poetry here is just beautiful. Take the wings of the morning. That's like saying you could travel as fast as light itself. Even if you could race the sunrise to the most remote corner of the world, what would you find? You wouldn't find an escape. You'd find God's guiding hand and his strong right hand, a symbol of his power and salvation holding you securely. And this is why this all matters so much. If you're running from God, yeah, this is a pretty sobering thought. But for the believer, this is a promise of incredible comfort. It doesn't matter how isolated, how lost, or how far away you feel, you are never, ever out of his reach. His hand is there to lead you, and his strength is there to hold you up. Now, the psalm takes this absolutely stunning turn. It zooms in from the vastness of God's all-knowing, all-present nature, right down to the intimate, personal act of your own creation. You, my friend, are his marvelous work. I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. This is a declaration of immeasurable worth. Fearfully here means with awe and reverence, and wonderfully means you are distinct, set apart, unique. Your value isn't based on your performance or your achievements. It's rooted in the simple fact that you are the skilled handiwork of a marvelous creator. Let this one truth just sink deep into your soul today. You are not a random collection of cells. You are not a cosmic accident. You are a deliberate, intentional, and completely unique creation of the Almighty God himself. Your life, your very being, was willed into existence with a purpose. David uses this beautiful picture of being curiously wrought, almost like an intricate piece of embroidery, skillfully woven together in the secret place of the womb. And what's even more amazing, God saw his substance when he was just an embryo. And get this, in God's book, every single one of your days and every part of your body was written down before a single one of them even existed. So, what does this mean for you, right here, right now? It means your life has a divine purpose. The same God who planned out every tiny detail of your physical body has also, as we're told in Ephesians 2:10, planned out good works for you to do. You are his workmanship, created for a reason. After thinking about all this, David is just overwhelmed. The infinite God who made the entire universe, he isn't distant. He has thoughts directed personally at you. And they're not just random thoughts, they are precious. There are more of them than grains of sand on every beach in the world. So next time you feel forgotten, remember that. You are constantly on the mind of God. So, after exploring God's incredible knowledge, his unfailing presence, and his creative power, the psalmist pivots one last time. It asks the ultimate practical question: how in the world do we respond to a God this amazing? Okay, now this shift in tone can be, well, a little jarring. After all this beautiful worship, David starts talking about hating God's enemies. It's really important we understand this. This isn't about personal revenge. It's coming from a place of deep, deep love for God's holiness. He is so aligned with God's heart that people who actively hate God become his enemies too. But for us, living today under the new covenant of Jesus Christ, this brings up a really important question. How do we take David's passion for God's honor and apply it in the right way? And the answer, thankfully, comes straight from Jesus himself. Love your enemies. We're called to channel that same passion, that same zeal David had, but in a new way. We must hate sin with a perfect hatred, absolutely. But we are called to love sinners, to pray for them, remembering that we were once enemies of God too, before we received his amazing grace. And this is what brings the entire psalm full circle. It started with, "Thou hast searched me," and it ends with the humble, vulnerable prayer, "Search me, O God." After considering the sins of others, David turns that powerful searchlight right back onto himself. He invites God's scrutiny, asking him to expose any hidden sin and to lead him on the right path. So here it is, the practical takeaway for you today. The best way to apply Psalm 139 is to make this prayer your own. It's 3 simple steps. First, you invite God to search your heart. Second, you ask him to reveal any sinful or grievous way in you. And third, you ask him to lead you forward on his path, the way everlasting. The message of Psalm 139 is just breathtaking when you think about it. You are fully known, yet you are deeply loved. You are intentionally created for a very real purpose. You're constantly in his presence and on his mind. So the only question left is the one David ends with. How will you respond to his search today?